Good morning, people. You know what today is? Today is Valentine's Day. And since today is Valentine's Day, I decided to do a very special Valentine's Day edition of LP Confessions. Of course, LP Confessions mean that I share my thoughts about a certain topic that's on my mind while I'm playing a video game, which I don't really have to really talk about in playing it anyways. So here I'm going to be playing Bugs Bunny's Crazy Castle, a game so notorious by AVGN that he got his ass kicked for it. Valentine's Day. The only day in which most of us technically appreciate the ones we actually care about. And on this day, some of us who don't have a Valentine, I feel for you. I won't be naming names, but you know who you are. You know when you were a kid and you thought about the cutest girl in school who thought of you as cute? Have you ever thought about what might have been had you said yes and pursued that relationship? I have. There was this girl that I remember plain as day that when I was I believe I was about 5 or 6 years old, and I remember her name. Her name was Shannon Roll. What I remember about her was the fact that she really, truly liked me. And I mean, she truly liked me. We're talking on this of the subject of love. You remember it like, not like not as the same terminology as the Legend of Zelda enemy like, but I mean like. Well, thing is this. To this day, to this very day, I didn't pursue her. And the reason why is because I didn't know if I was going to have a chance with her. So what happened was, I basically did nothing of the sort. Time just Time basically just went its merry way. Managed to managed to take care of my my grades and whatnot. Because A, we were too young. We didn't know anything about love. She was just saying that because I actually beat up a bully. I remember it so well. I basically punched him out. What I did was this. I raised my fist. Yes, that's what I said. Raise my fist. And I remember that plain as day. I said, Father, in the name of Jesus. Pow! It was so funny because I know it's kind of funny, but the point was I knocked that guy square in his nose. I had him bleeding. I had him running. I was 5 years old. This girl, swear to God, she just said I'm her hero, and mind you, I'm 5 years old. I don't know any better. And on top of that, I'm at the same time I'm saying, you're welcome. She wanted to be my girlfriend. Needless to say, we were both too young. We didn't really want to rush into it. But excuse me. But I remember very well that she just wanted me to be her boyfriend. We fast forward, say, I think maybe 15, 16, 17 years later. One day, I remember we were going by Church's Chicken. It's right by the house, you know, right around the corner from our house. We go get ourselves some chicken. And surprisingly and oddly enough, there she was. The girl who wanted to be my girlfriend since grade school. We managed to talk, and yes, believe it or not, she wanted to lean in and kiss me. Sadly, though, it never happened because my stepdad was there, and the mood was ruined. It was good to see her being so well. I mean, being so well. She was the same girl as I remember 17, 18 odd years ago. I'll never forget. I'll never forget that time that I nearly had a full-on kiss. You know, sometimes they say that you never forget your one. Yeah, I mean, you never forget your first love. This is true in most cases. Yes, you never forget your first love. I moved on though. I mean, there have been plenty of girls, which I can pretty much say have been in and out my life. And as I'm saying this now, I don't regret the fact that they were all online and I never met. And out of all the relationships I've ever been to online, I've only met three ladies, not girls, because of course, I was in relationships with women who were twice my age. We're talking me being what, 20 something years old. No, wait a minute, 19. 19 years old. Having relationships with 30-year-old women. I can also remember when I was in high school. There was another cute girl that I forgot to mention. Her name was Gina. It was around the time in which the prom came around. Everybody, I don't know why, but really, I don't know why, but most of those that I hung out with, they wanted me to get laid. On that day in which I was going to ask her out, it never happened. As a matter of fact, I took a childhood friend of mine to the prom. Her name was Danielle. I remember it very clearly, plain as day. We seemed to have a good time, but the thing was my favorite track of the game. I remember that day that we got ourselves, freshened up and everything. Individually. And what happened was, well, when the time came in which we had to go to the prom, by the time we actually got there, the whole mood was ruined because at the very door there was a dress code. I was fine. I was wearing a tuxedo. She was wearing like a two-piece slip or something. I don't know. She was wearing some kind of dress. Showed some skin. And mind you, think about it. We're childhood friends. I thought I'd show her a good time. To this day, I still have the picture. I'm smiling on this picture. I'm flashing a ring, which personally I don't wear rings. I don't wear rings. What I do wear though, I wear chains and I wear watches. I wear chains and watches. That's all I wear. So if you were to see me in public, I'd either be wearing my Lionheart chain, if I can see it. Yeah, I see it. My Lionheart chain and my Esquire watch, which my stepdad bought me some weeks back. The funny thing is, we still have that picture, and it was a mess. She looked so miserable, so god awful terrible, that it just couldn't be. I mean, it was that bad. That's how bad it really was. It was that bad in which, you know, you can only remember, damn, what the hell happened? She was frowning so bad, and I was like, I had this big grin on my face. My natural smile, because I'm really photogenic. Anyway, if I had this picture, and I post it, and I post it on YouTube right now, instead of playing this game, views are gonna skyrocket through the roof. But then again, I am not afraid of saying that, yes, I am weird. I am who I am. If you've seen my underdog file special, which I actually show my room on camera, then you know I look exactly like that. The only thing that has changed is I've grown a bit of a beard, and I have a mustache. But I always keep myself trimmed because I have a barber at the house who happens to be my stepdad. Now you're probably wondering what happened since then. Well, you see, the thing is this. Going back to what I had before, I was in previous online relationships. Before this one, before the one I'm in now, I have been in about maybe what 4 or 5 relationships, and every one of them ended out the same way. They left me. Why? Because of real life issues. They were married, or most times it was just that. They were married, and, they wanted to seek a relationship. And, most times it was like, well, you don't say what you want, and without that, you know, I base my issues on that. I base my trust issues because I want to know what you want. And let me tell you guys, women are demanding. They demand mainly 3 things from us: time, love, and attention. Now, previously, I'm still with my girlfriend, but while this was going on, I'm still with my girlfriend, mind you. It was around when I was 25 years old. 6 years ago. Yeah, 6 years ago. I was in Japan and I was married. I got married. Because in order for me to actually stay in Japan, I had to get married. So therefore, once you got married, you become an instant citizen in Japan. I can say that aside from the constant sex that we had, throughout that entire year, we were only married a year. Nothing big, just we were just married a year. I can say it was the most interesting experience I ever had since I have a bit of I have a bit more understanding about what a woman wants. And what I know is a woman wants attention, love, and understanding, as well as time. Well, the thing is, when I was married, I actually did the following. When she cooked, I went to the arcade. I gave her time to catch up on her work if she needed to. And if she needed anything, she could always call me and say, "Look, I need you to run by a store." Because where I was right in the vicinity of a store. I mean, I could easily walk up to the store. It's like a 15-minute walk. Really, it was like a 15-minute walk because we lived in a complex. And mm, this complex was pretty good. It had two levels, mind you, and very small. I kept in contact with my people every day, my family. My family and friends, I kept in contact with them every day. I let them know what's been going on, that I'm okay, but, really, that's just it. Everything wasn't going okay. Actually, everything wasn't going okay. It was getting ugly. Fights started breaking out. Stupid shit happening. Because you see, she had a child. And the thing was, this kid was a pest. A real dumbass. And I mean a real dumbass because he got himself beaten up every day by his so-called friends. And believe it or not, I tried telling him, look, you're gonna have to defend yourself. These friends are not your friends. If they constantly beat you up every day, they're not your friends. Of course, this boy was as naive as you can get. And with that, it's just stupid, Like, well, they're my friends, they always play with me like that. Mind you, my Japanese was so-so. It was so-so. Not cow. So. So anyway, this kid, as naive as he was, I remember I spoke to his teacher, and I was kind of like the ideal parent for a while, even though it was like for like a whole flipping year. I knew from that moment on what it was about though. Another thing I have not mentioned, and I have not mentioned this because for some reason I never really wanted to mention it because it tugged at me. It tugged at my it tugged at my heart. But I was going to be a father. While I was there, I was going to be a father. But the thing was, we had an argument. Another thing is, she didn't want the baby. What happened was, in this argument, since she didn't want the baby, I asked why. Or if I am messing this story up, I'm so very sorry. But it is kind of like very touchy. But anyway, things happened, and therefore, what happened was the baby was stillborn. It's about the size of a walnut. Seriously, the kid was about. If I were to show you a walnut, that was the kid. About that damn small, and it was a stillborn. I remember when that happened. For that one moment, I don't know what happened, but I think I saw an anime. I think this when I came back, this is what happened. I saw an anime on TV, and the name of the anime was called Human Nature. This is when this is when AZN used to be a network. It wasn't Mnet. It was AZN prior to that. Anyway, in that moment, I saw an episode of that anime, and it was about this couple. This couple had a child. And I remember there was some symbolism between a cicada and this child. For that moment, I cried. I had never cried so hard since Grave of the Fireflies. Those are one of those animes you definitely want to watch once, and that's it. And you know why. Anyway, that episode, I watched it, and I just sat there and I watched it. And what happened was this father was carrying around this carriage, the baby carriage, and he said he was telling his son that this was going to be your neighborhood. This was going to be your school. This was going to be this. This was going to be that. Is that I'm telling you this? For a moment there, I kind of felt a bit misty-eyed, like I'm feeling right now. Anyway, yeah, about that. At that moment, I basically got so quiet. I mean, really, really quiet. There's nobody around. I actually cried. I remember I actually cried at this, and I was so choked up about it because at that moment I saw myself in that anime, and I was carrying around that empty carriage, that empty baby carriage, and I was doing the same thing this father was doing. He's basically saying hello and goodbye to the son that he wanted so badly, but he never showed up in time. And the one time he was needed the most, he was just too busy with something else. He actually, what happened was he was drunk. Now, what does this have to do with Valentine's Day? And why does that? Why does this have anything to do with Valentine's Day? Well, I'll tell you. Valentine's Day is one of those days you don't say "I love you." It's "I love us." I know I picked it up from a commercial, so sue me. I do I do enjoy the fact about what it is. I don't just love you. I love us. Really, and truly, I really do like that commercial. For that reason, as I'm saying this, and this is Valentine's Day, mind you, there's a reason here. That reason for today is for those who don't have anybody to love. You know who you are. Even if you're not subscribers and whatnot, even if you're not subscribers, I'm saying this from the heart. You're loved in some form. I don't know how, but you are loved. So on Valentine's Day, I know as hard as you may think that you have no one to turn to, just remember that somebody loves you. Even if it isn't that special someone, you are loved. Whether it's your parents, your grandparents, your dog, your cat, your bird, your frog, you're loved. That's the whole point. You are loved, regardless of what happens. So with that, you shouldn't look at this day as, something terrible. I mean, I could say this. I can say this proudly. I am loved by many people. I'm loved by my friends, my families. I'm not sure about my subscribers. I have never received anything that says "I love you, man." It'd be kind of funny, but I mean, I've received probably emails from my family members, my cousins. They might say "I love you," Happy Valentine's Day, cuz that sort of thing. But I can say without a shadow of a doubt that you are loved, and even if that And even if you're wishing for that special someone to be knocking on that door, I'd say do not worry about it. You know who I'm talking about. I see it as this though. Real, actual, true love, it's not to be rushed. It's not to be tampered with. It's not to be tainted. It is not to be, by any circumstance, mocked or otherwise hated. But it is to be, noticed. That yes, in some form, you're loved. No matter what happens, you're still loved. So, to my YouTube friends and subscribers, if you ever have that feeling that you aren't loved, just think about it. If you weren't loved, you would not be here. I mean, I don't know about you, but if anybody remembers the words to what was that song? A train running. Down around the corner, half mile from here. Seeing them old trains run and watching them disappear. Without love, where would you be now? Just remember that. Without love, where would you be now? Long train running. That's the song. I remember. I remember my. I remember as a birthday present. It was either a birthday present or a. I think it was a birthday present or a Christmas present. My current girlfriend, Twin B Mark II, aka Meg. I remember I asked her to make me a couple of discs. To this day, I still have these discs. On these discs are Power Ranger tracks, a six disc Super Sentai soundtrack with some extra features, a triple soundtrack of Dragon Ball Z Budokai, because she is an avid Dragon Ball fan. And a Legend of Dragoon CD. She actually burned the whole soundtrack to the Legend of Dragoon onto a CD. And I also asked her to burn me some DDR tracks. DDD. Yeah. Burn me a DDD track. No. I asked her to burn me some DDR tracks. So what happened was she burned me a DDR track. And one of the songs that I really enjoy very much was Long Train Running, because I used to dance off that because, I have Dance Dance Revolution. So what happened was I said, well, just could you make me a CD of that? She did. As well as she burned me a disc of a Super Nintendo emulator That was to be played on my former Dreamcast, which now is dead and buried. But the disc is still good, and I can play it on my computer if I so wish. All I had to do was pull the files off from there, copy them, and bam, instant video games. We've been together for about at least 10, 15 years, I think. I'm gonna say 10. She knows better than I. She knows better than I how long we've been together. She lives in Connecticut now. A friend of ours. She is quite busy these days. Hardly ever talk to her. And when we do talk, it's like maybe for 15, 20 minutes if she's not so busy watching something on TV. And we simply say, "Hi, how you doing? Did you miss me? I missed you as much as I blah blah blah," that sort of thing. And just this past week, I sent her a box with a letter which I typed up on my computer. Some buttons she can put on her jacket. A Kingdom Heart box. Yeah, a box. The 365 over 7 days box. I gave her the game, but I didn't give her the box. On top of that, I sent her quite a bit of stuff. Like the last thing I remember I sent her, which she was just, I don't know, she was thrilled. Oh yeah, I sent her 2 plushies too. One was a plushie of Knuckles, and then there was a plushie that I never thought I'd see today. And if you remember the Olympic mascot, well, that plushie's name is Izzy. The last time I went to the LA, no, not the LA Convention Center. I'm thinking about AX. No, it was the Shrine Auditorium. Last time I went to the Shrine Auditorium was a few weeks back. And what happened was, I bought Izzy for $1. And I found it funny because there's a joke in there. And you know what that joke is? I buy that for $1. So, actually, I made a joke out of that. Yeah, I'm worth $1, folks. Really, I'm worth $1. So I asked the question, how much? I asked the question, how much do you think I'm worth? I said, really, I said, if you were to put a price tag on me, how much do you think I was worth? I mean, think about it. I'm not really Bruce Wayne, but I am handsome. I can definitely vouch for that and say I am handsome. And am I getting bored yet? Hell no, I'm not getting bored. I am far, far from getting bored. So, let's see, what else was there? Yes, to this day, I'm still with my girlfriend. The only thing I told her was the last thing I remember telling her was when I gave her that plushie. I simply told her this: "Now I'm with you. I am with you. Now that I'm with you, you have nothing to fear. You can hug on me as tight as you can hug on me as tight as you want if you feel down or if you feel terrible. Just think of me hugging you in return. Just think of me hugging you as you're hugging that plushie." And not to mention the fact that she is a die-hard comic book fan. She will talk your ear off if you let her about comic books. I'm not really into comic books. But the thing is, I could probably not get into comic books because I'm into manga. Since I'm a writer, I like long stories. So therefore, that's why I get mangas. There's stories long enough for me to actually make a story off of, and I can actually get some kind of, idea. Weirdly and oddly enough, yeah, I like to say, yeah, I know what I like, and I like what I like. Another thing about me is that I am a poet as well. Like I did one with a drawing that I did when I was at work. When I was working as a as a part-time Japanese teacher. And the one thing I remember I did was I drew pictures during my spare time. Now, I'm not an artist, but for some reason, I knew how to draw a simple picture. So the only thing I drew was a sword with a rose. And aside from that rose, there was a tree. Picture this for a moment. A sword and a rose and a tree. The sword is the sword is in front of the rose, protecting it. The tree is standing right by the sword. Some deep symbolism was made while I was drawing that. Like I said, I never did think about it before until now. I actually did a poem about that. I dubbed it Love and Devotion. Now, I don't think anybody has ever gave me anything about it. I never got any comments about it. So I never went back on doing anything other than, video games. Because I believe, some people, they don't want to hear no poetry. And to me, that's a damn shame because poetry is a lost art. And I'm one of those lost artists who are basically wanting to share some poetry. I mean, I sing too, but to me, I like poetry. I have 2 books of poetry. Well, maybe 3. Three books of poetry. One about, love poetry. And 2 are just standard poems. But, there's so many things you can do on Valentine's Day other than mope around, feel sorry for yourself, and say, I've been hurt. I've been this. I've been that. Well, you know what? We all been hurt. But the thing is, you gotta learn how to get over it. There's someone who, there's someone that's always gonna be better for you. Someone who will be right for you. And therefore, you'll feel so much better because of that one person treating you like you are that damn special. It's not because of who you are. I mean, it's not because of what you do. It's who you are. So, really, I don't know a few friends online who kind of feel like that. But when you meet that right person, you are going to feel overwhelmed. So with that, you know what? I think this will do it for this Valentine's Day episode of LP Confessions. I didn't mean to go that far, but god damn. I can go all day and all night with this, but I really don't. So to my friends, so to my friends out there and subscribers, please don't just subscribe and not say anything. Please drop a line, or if you want to, I will say thank you. For those who subscribe to me, thank you. I hope you do more than just subscribe and then just drop off the face of the earth and not say anything regarding to me doing these videos like this. Because really, I could be doing a whole lot more with my time, energy, but hey, I'm a Let's Player. And I'm a gamer, so I enjoy what I do, and I like what I do. So with that, my fellow peoples, this is Izzy the Pook, aka Pookie Izzy 7. And this has been Bugs Bunny, The Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle by Kemco. Dear Lord, I am not going to get over this. But with that, I wish those who are in love to stay in love and never let go of being loved. As well as those who aren't in love, the one thing you should always remember is to continue to love yourself. Because how can you hope to love anybody else if you don't love yourself? I've learned this through tough love to remember. It's like after, I'll just say this, right after I basically left Japan, I started rediscovering myself. And I feel so much better because, really? Because really, honestly, it's good to rediscover yourself. You can never, I mean, you don't know how good it feels just to rediscover having fun. You know, actually going out, actually having a good time with friends. To actually do something with your life other than, feel sorry for yourself. Because really, life is about, learning, living, and hopefully enjoying what life has to offer. So guys, remember that today. Please remember that even if you aren't in love with anyone, continue to love yourself. Don't make yourself feel bad and feel sorry for yourself. Make a day of this day. Because I know I'm loved by many people. And tonight I am going to be doing an episode of Random Co-op. And with that, I will also do more Fire Emblem. Because I did a few episodes earlier, but I decided to hold back on uploading them because these episodes are pretty long. So if you are a fan of Fire Emblem, whoever you are, please subscribe, rate, comment, all that fun stuff. Leave comments on my channel. Say you like it. You know, give me some love. Show me some love. And with that, I wish you guys a very happy Valentine's Day. And may you lucky ones get laid. I am Don Cupid. Pookie Izzy 7. Izzy the Pook. And I am